Okay, welcome back to my channel. I'm explaining to my husband how I'm going to create this headboard to match the bed frame that I just created. So I've got my son here who is, are you going to help me? No? Okay. And then my husband, are you going to help me? No. No, he's not. Anyway. So, so right now I've got two 3-foot 2x4s on each side, and they're connected by one 50-inch 2x4. And then I've got 2-foot 2x4s there. That I'm going to add the the pallet wood, the refurbished pallet wood. So I've taken wood from here are my pallets. So this one is in the disassembly process. Excuse my messy garage. I've got pieces everywhere. So I've taken wood from pallets and I've sanded them down and cut them. Most of them are about 2.5 feet long, and so most of them are gonna go almost 2/3 of the way across, and then I'm gonna crisscross those and then add the 1-foot to 2-foot piece on the other side. Okay, so here I am partway finished laying down the pallet wood. So basically what I was trying to describe is I'm going to zigzag. So I've got these long boards that extend across across 3 of the 2x4s on each side. So I've got to do 2 things. I've got to cut my pieces here, so that I have enough room on the 2x4. And then I've got to cut a piece that will extend from this board and this board approximately here that I'll attach end to end. So it'll have sort of like a zigzag pattern when I'm done. So this is what it looks like at this point. And we'll see how the cuts come out. Okay, so I finished the first 2 rows. So now you can kind of see the pattern. So I've got little board, long board, or short board, long board, then long board, short board. And it's going to continue, opposite, all the way down. So I'm still making the cuts for the bottom 4 rows. And then I'm using nails to adhere them to the 2x4s and behind. So hopefully, what I'm doing is I'm using the darker wood for the short boards and the lighter wood for the long boards. Give it a nice little pattern. But I'm going to end up using a dark stain for the finished look, so it may not come out. It may all end up blending together, so we'll see how it looks in the end. But this is what I got so far, so I'm going to continue going, and we'll come back later. Okay, this is not the finished product, but all the pallet boards have been nailed down, and it looks pretty good. I like the symmetry. I ended up doing an extra row just to cover up that 2x4 in the middle. So, and what I plan to do is add 2x4s to the sides. So add another 2x4, 3-foot on top there to make it a clean finish. And then at the top, I'm going to add a finishing piece so it'll look like a shelf. So yeah, we'll be back with those touches and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, everyone, this is the fully assembled headboard. Let me go around the side so you can see how it looks from the side. So as you can see, I added the 2x4s. And again, this is 3 feet tall. So each of the 2x4s on the side are 3 feet. I used 2 2x4s in the middle. Those were 2 2 feet, and then I used a 2x4 to connect in the middle, and that was 50 inches. And then also I added a finishing board at the top, 1/2 inch by 4 inches wide. And I was going to buy that piece from Home Depot finished, and I actually noticed that one of the pallets I disassembled had 2 boards that were the exact size I was looking for. So I just kind of pieced those 2 together, and so that completes my headboard. You know, I love the way it turned out. Last thing I'm going to do is stain it. I don't know what color yet, so I'm going to go to Home Depot and see what inspires me. But I'm very happy with the finished assembled look, and I'm just glad the kids will have, you know, a finished headboard, one with a shelving area where they can put all their little toys and guides and such. So some of the details I wanted to point out. I did use my T-Star screws for the 2x4s. Those are my absolute favorite because they really go in smooth. And you know, when I do my do-it-yourself projects, you know, sometimes I you know, I hate when nails get stuck or when screws get stuck, but those I found to be the best, to work the best. And they're a little bit pricey, but they're worth it. Also, I use nails to apply the pallet wood, since it's pretty light and thin. So that actually worked pretty good. And I have a ton of nails, so this is actually very inexpensive. The only thing I had to pay for was the 2x4s, and that's pretty. And I'll be buying the stains. That's pretty much it. And that it took me basically 3 2x4s, depending on what size you buy, to make this project. And then you'll need probably 2 pallets. And you can get pallets pretty much anywhere. I was driving down my neighborhood, and there was it's actually a racing place, but I guess they get stuff delivered, and they just leave the pallets out on the side of the road for anybody who wants them. So if you have something like that in your neighborhood, definitely pick it up, and then just use a saw, or, you know, I'm sure there's some YouTube videos on how to disassemble. I'm not the best at it, so I won't provide any recommendations here. Also, what comes in handy, I just got this miter saw for Mother's Day, and I use a sander to sand down the pallet wood to make it even. And then I've got my measuring, you know, those are my T-Star screws. I got my tape measure, and my hammer. So that's pretty much all the stuff that I use to make this. So I'll be back with the stained finished product.